flood fight is picking up steam as the spring thaw starts. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Mike and Robin are off tonight. Flood fighters say it's time for people to start picking neighborhood leaders. Valley News Team's Emily Welker talked with homeowners about what it takes to be a neighborhood captain and why people are willing to tackle it again this time if they did it last year. Emily?
That's right, Lisa. We've talked a lot to you viewers about flood fighting fatigue, and that's why it's so important to make sure that you're ready to take on even more work than just doing your own fight. If you're a neighborhood captain, it's kind of like being in charge of troops on the ground.
You can't ask for better neighbors than the Granbergs.
All of us kind of look out for each other along this area.
Last spring, they cleaned up their neighbors' yards in time for city crews to put up a sandbag dike. This year, they're at it again.
Well, it was a rush for the city to put a dike outside the Granbergs' backyard, but this year they're starting early and giving neighbors a hand as well.
The Granbergs still have a few more homes to tackle.
I look at it and it just seems like there's more snow in the backyards this year than there was last year.
But it'll take more than sticky snow and rising rivers to bring this family's spirits down.
I know it's a stressful time for many people, so anything that we can do to help alleviate any of that is makes us feel good.
As sandbagging gets into full gear, ERs and walk-in clinics will see injuries related to the flood fight. Sandbagging involves muscles and movements we don't use every day. There's the bending, lifting, and twisting. And if his health doctor, Tony Hamilton, says, listen to your body.
Moving in, that you're not putting your low back into a bad strain pattern. Folks that do put their backs into a strain pattern need to take a couple of days off. I know that's hard to do when you see your neighbors needing help. If you push yourself and injure yourself, you're going to be out of the game for the whole flood fight.
The fight against the flood takes a turn for the better as another sandbagging center has opened. Officials announced the opening of the Cass County Sandbagging Operations Center today. The center is located at 220 21st Street Northwest in West Fargo.
We're using this week to work the kinks out of our operation, and then next week we'll be gearing up seeking volunteers if anybody wants to come out and volunteer to help sandbag.
Well, the good news, it has not really rained around here for 3 or 4 weeks, so we've had a little bit of wiggle room to work with. The bad news, it continues to rain out there, so I don't think this is really going to have an impact on our flood forecast because this type of rain was factored into that forecast already.
Another flood buyout application failed. The $11 million FEMA project was rejected because some U.S. senators didn't like the way it was attached to an unrelated bill. As Valley News Team's Yvonne Mann shows us, those 40 homeowners affected are now left with a tough decision.
Getting ready for another flood wasn't what Dwayne Shell wanted this year.
I just turned 62 years old and I don't think I've got the gumption to do it again.
It took 10,000 sandbags to protect Dwayne's home last year, but it still wasn't enough. He says he doesn't want to fight anymore.
I don't know what else to do. I mean, I'm running out of energy.
We would have really liked to have closed on these homes and had things ironed out so that people wouldn't be in this tough position that they are now in.
County leaders are waiting on Washington As for Shell,
I don't have the strength to do it anymore. So probably just let the house go. I mean, that's all I can do.
Let's take a look at what's going on. First and foremost, we do have the flood watch, which starts the beginning of flood season here, issued by the National Weather Service this afternoon in the southern Red River Valley, Cass and Clay counties, Richland and Wilkin counties at the headwaters of the Red River here, where things are getting started. Now, taking a peek, our rivers are rising because there's releases from the dams, but the rainfall that's taking place right now is also running off in streams and tributaries. And what's going on rainfall-wise? Let's take a look at the math here. Doppler radar kind of keeps track of the total storm precipitation. Where I have the green circles, as we've been studying the last few nights, upwards of 3/4 of an inch. Let's take a look at Fargo-Moorhead, for instance. Right here, we see the darker green dots kind of going all the way from Borup through the Fargo-Moorhead and West Fargo areas. So our rain totals are approaching 1 inch, and looking at the Weather Service's report of rainfall matches up pretty close to this.
We'll start sending empty sandbags to rural residents on Monday for 5 cents a bag. They'll give out filled bags when there are enough stockpiled.
41 Saturday, 40 on Sunday. Sunday into Monday, another chance of a light shower as a little hiccup works its way through. And then temperatures next week, warm. Up to those upper 40s with lows dropping down below freezing. That's a good scenario, but I think we'd even like to see even colder overnight lows to freeze up some of this water we have right now.